Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very first review for the manga Centuria. I kind of waited for a couple of chapters to pass before I started reviewing this, and so yeah, we are starting to review upon chapter 21. Now, so a lot of things to talk about. First of all, we have the whole ordeal with Diana, I think that's the baby's name, right? Diana, with Diana and her possibly, being this child of prophecy that will bring doom and, calamity to like the lands. Which, by the way, I find that very interesting because it was a very good plot twist, honestly. The fact that she was the one that, that little child is supposed to be the one that's going to bring, the prophesized doom, and not Julian, who was, the one that was cursed with something there, right? So that didn't happen. Like he said, it wasn't Julian, it was like the kid. So that's a pretty good plot twist, right? The one thing that I will say though is I do share the theory of many people, which is basically that's going to be a self-fulfilled prophecy. So because they're going to be looking for her and just like hunting her down and like trying to, like not make that prophecy, by trying to avoid said prophecy, the antagonists in this situation, right, are going to be the ones that are going to fulfill the prophecy. So she's going to end up feeling this sort of hatred and end up fulfilling the prophecy. Again, I completely share that idea that it's going to be a self-fulfilled prophecy. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I would very much like for that to be the case. So yeah, there's that part, right? And so there's that thing, and then there's this other guy who, like the waterbender, who's just controlling water. It's very interesting to see people with these powers showing up in a very organic way. I absolutely like it. And so yeah, let's talk about this chapter now. So as always, we're going to break it down and kind of like talk about it. So we start off the chapter with Engvall being absolutely wrecked by this dude. She really can't do much, and she's just sitting there like just waiting to see what she can and can't do. And Julian is like rushing towards this guy to kind of save Engvall, and he mentions to Engvall like he's gonna fight me head on with full power if I send you to the lobby, isn't he? And Engvall is like, probably, yeah. She never actually says like, yeah, he's gonna do it, but she just stares at him like, damn. And the whole flashback scenario, honestly, the paneling in this manga is really good, and I really hope that it can, continue with this quality, because it's very good. Because there are many instances where Engvall is just Engvall on like a white background, and it hits so hard because you feel it coming. You know what I mean? Like you feel like it's coming, and it really does a really good job at building up this dread of I can't do anything to save her, because this guy, from what we've seen, is just absolutely ruthless. He doesn't have compassion. So it's going to come. It's happening. And the way Engvall just accepts her death, and she just remembers when they tell her, like, we are a family. When they said, we're a family, so wave goodbye. And I was like, no, God, please, no. And then she it's a double page spread of her just waving goodbye with a big ass smile on her face. And then she just joins the donut club immediately after that. And I gotta say, this situation really hit, because we do spend a lot of time with Engvall, and we see that she has just an unbreakable spirit, and she just keeps getting back up, but she has a hole in her chest, so I don't think she's gonna get back up. But it's a very good before and after in the manga. I think there have been many before and afters in the manga. The very first one is definitely when he ends up fighting that forest creature, which was like, yo, this shit is real, right? When Diana sees like this goat running around, which is like, fuck, and I think the other defining moment has got to be when they said, that the little girl, I think her name is Diana, right? Where it turns out that Diana is the prophesized doom of the world. And now this one. This is going to be a very strong before and after, and I think it will be upon this situation with Engvall where we'll see exactly where the manga is going to go. I like to believe that Diana is going to find a way to use the powers that apparently she has, maybe, and end up healing like Engvall, which we don't know if Diana actually has powers. We just know that she's going to bring in like the doom and like destruction. So that's like the thing. Either that or Julian is going to save her. That would be like the, not typical, but like that cliche route, the safe route of, you know, creating suspense for the sake of creating suspense. But I really hope that this manga doesn't really do that. It doesn't, I hope that it doesn't make suspense just for the sake of making suspense. Like it happened with a ton of manga that kind of like were published, you know, like they end up having, they finish the chapter with like, oh my God, a cliffhanger. And you get to the next chapter and it's like, oh, okay. So like nothing happened. All right, fine. You know what I mean? So I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope that we actually get something out of this. You know, I'm not saying Engvall has to just exit this mortal realm and go to the lobby. No, but I feel like there could be something happening. You know, I am of the opinion, as well as other people, that, you know, in some way, shape, or form, Julian is gonna like absorb her soul, and he's gonna get her like immense superhuman strength. We don't know if Julian can take people's souls into himself and then replenish the lives that he had and that he kind of started losing. But yeah, if he can do that, then Engvall, it will be like pretty bittersweet. It will be bittersweet, you know, because Engvall just, she died. But it would be pretty sweet because she would technically still be alive within Julian. So that could be like really, really nice. You know what I mean? Because we have seen instances of Julian seeing these people and like talking to them. Of course, it would be very weird for him to be able to talk with Engvall and not with like Diana's mom, which would be kind of like, oh my God, right? Like, why wouldn't he just continue talking to her, right? But it would be pretty cool to just see Julian, for Julian to like awaken this ability to like absorb people's souls, take them inside of him. That sounded weird. And use like, and like replenish the lives that he's losing now that he, I mean, because let's face it, you know, he is pretty reckless when it comes to like fighting and all that good stuff, right? So there's that thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really hope that ends up happening. I don't think that Engvall is surviving this. I'm thinking that this is going to be the way that the manga is currently being written and the way that it's kind of, its tone works. I feel like it's going to be permanent, but I feel like the way that it's permanent will definitely be a pretty different. Probably Engvall will live within Julian, or she won't, and they'll have to. And it will be Julian, that other chick, and Diana against like the world. And I feel like it will end up being like a self-fulfilled prophecy with Diana, which would be really fucking cool, right? And yeah, and then towards the end we see Julian just let out a bunch of like that smoke, that ink smoke, ink, I don't know what you call it. And yeah, so next chapter we're gonna have a showdown. We're gonna have a fight between Julian and this waterbender. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. We also got to see what's happening with the villagers. It would be really like this manga, this arc would be a before and after if Engvall dies and the whole village is absolutely like just wiped out. It would be, again, because it would be the whole buildup. There would be a reason for like the forest thing. There would be a reason for like Julian talking with these people, like making connections, you know, because it would be like, fuck, man, like this manga is like trying to do stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that death has to be a consequence. Absolutely not. But it would be, again, it would be kind of a before and after. It would be very cliche, I guess, very manga, shonen-esque, if Julian ends up saving Engvall and the village and then just kind of leaves. And I really hope this manga goes in another way, at least with the whole Engvall situation. It would be pretty cool if, I'm sorry, there was a fly in my mouth, if, you know, Engvall ends up living within Julian to lend him her strength. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next chapter. This manga is really good so far, honestly. These 21 chapters have been absolute fucking fire. So yeah, let's wait for the next one, and I'll see you next time. So bye-bye.